On with you guys today, and today I've got a great presentation for you. I'm going to go through 5 major keys to a good morning routine. We know that if you want to win the day, you've got to win the morning, right? So really, ultimately, if we want to get the most out of our day, and at the end of the day feel like we had a super successful day, it's all going to start with what we're doing in the morning and getting that morning routine going. It's just so critical. And so that's what I'm going to go through for you guys today, is really discussing that in detail, exactly what we need to do to get our day going. So if you are on with me here live, go ahead and comment in. Let me know where you're coming in from, because again, today we're going to talk about winning the morning to win the day. And I think that's really what it's all about, is got to make sure that you have a good morning routine and that you're setting yourself up for success right from the get-go. And I think this is one of the biggest mistakes people have, is that they're rushing out of bed. They're trying to get the most, in a sense, the most amount of rest possible, which is important. It's important to get really good, high quality rest. But the issue is when, if we're hitting the snooze button, for example, when we hit the snooze button, we actually deprive ourselves of a good, high quality, high energy morning, because we're going to suppress our natural cortisol release. And so you've got to win the morning to win the day. That is a key line to remember. We've got to win the morning to win the day. So I know we got a lot of people coming in here. Let's see who's on with us. We've got Patricia coming in from North Carolina. Patricia, thanks so much for being on. That means a lot to me. Nicholas from France. We've got Sandro from Michigan. We've got Barira from Pakistan. I mean, people all over the world. We got Lori, who's near me in Canton, Georgia. I'm in Ackworth is where I live. My clinic is in Kennesaw, Georgia. And I'm working from home today here in Ackworth. And I've had a lot of questions from people recently about what a good morning routine looks like. And that's what I'm going to go through today. Is I'm going to go through 5 keys. And if you can take these, in a sense, if you take control of these takeaways and you condition them for yourself, you'll see very consistent results with your daily energy coming from this morning routine. Most people are not following a good morning routine, and that's sapping their energy, their productivity, their mental clarity throughout the day. I know for myself, before I understood the importance of a morning routine, it was like, I would sleep till a certain time, maybe my alarm would go off. And of course that would excite my adrenals. And then if I could, I would lay in bed for another 5, 10, sometimes 20 minutes or 30 minutes, even fall back asleep. Or, most of us have hit the snooze button before. And I'm here to tell you, hitting the snooze button is probably the worst thing that you could possibly do for your daily energy. You want to set a consistent time to wake up, and you want to get up at that time. That is so important to this. You've got to stay consistent with your sleep and rest cycle and your wake up time. The more consistent you are with your circadian rhythms, the better quality of sleep you'll have, the more energy you'll have throughout the day. So let's go into my number one. So these are the 5 things you've got to make sure you're doing in order to have really high energy throughout the day. So number 1, and hopefully you guys can see this, go to bed early the night before. Okay, I mean, that's really where it all starts. So a good morning routine starts with what you do the night before. So a big mistake people make is they eat too late at night. So if you're eating dinner, and particularly if you're eating solid foods right before you go to bed, that is a problem. So, and I used to do that because I would work late. I would have a presentation or something like that. And especially when I first started my office, Exodus Health Center out here in Kennesaw, Georgia, there were a lot of nights where I was doing a lot of workshops and things like that. And I wouldn't get home until 8:30 or 9 o'clock, and I'd be hungry, and I would eat a meal then. And then I would try to I'd go to sleep, and I wake up the next morning and it was tough to get up. I would be groggy. Why? Because my body was trying to digest and rest at the same time. And unfortunately, trying to get good quality sleep and trying to digest a big solid food meal can be really, really challenging. So I wasn't getting the kind of quality sleep that I really need. And so ultimately now I try to finish eating ideally by 6 p.m. so I can be in bed by 10 p.m., having digested that meal and be able to, get a really good rest. So the food has kind of moved through my system. The major digestive juices, the stomach acid, the bile pancreatic enzymes have worked on it. And now it's taking less energy from my body to digest it and assimilate the nutrients. So that's one of the first big steps, is making sure that you're scheduling, obviously a healthy meal at night, the night before, and then you are eating earlier rather than later. And then you want to make sure that you are going to bed at a good time. And so every hour of sleep before midnight is equivalent to 3 hours of quality regenerative sleep after midnight. And so just so important that we are trying to get good quality sleep before midnight. For me, I try to be in bed by 10. So I try to wind down by 9:30. In fact, this year I've tried to make a goal, and I'm not always consistent with it because I'm a work in progress, just like all of you. In fact, if just going to bed early the night before, if that's a huge challenge for you, then go ahead and say that in the comments box. Let's all be transparent here. I know for most of us, it probably is. And so for me, I try to be off electronics by 9 o'clock. Like, as far as just being off my computer, staring right into blue light or something like that. And of course, I've got blue light blocking glasses, but I try to stop working or having a big goal in mind. And so having goals is a great thing during the day because it's associated with dopamine, with adrenaline in your brain. You're focused, you're getting stuff done. Not a good thing to have at night. So I sometimes will work in the evenings, but I try to make sure that by 9 o'clock, I'm off of my computer and I don't have any particular like work goal, I guess you could say, or even goal around my house. I'm trying to relax, hang out with my wife, do something relaxing, maybe do some stretching, maybe we might have a TV show on or a movie, or I don't know, just something relaxing, something that's not depending on a lot of brain energy. That's more passive, or oftentimes I'll read just a light book. Or just do even some stretching, some yoga, some calisthenics, things like that, just kind of getting some light motion in. And that helps prepare me for a good night's sleep. And then I try to be in bed by 10 o'clock, setting my room up appropriately. Of course, that'll be another video I'll do for you guys. And I also have some great articles on lifestyle strategies for good sleep. But going to bed early the night before is super key. So let's see who else is on with us. Let's see. We've got Laureen from Rochester, New York. Hey, great to have you with us, Laureen. We've got Sandy coming in. She's in Michigan. We've got Dion from New York City. We have got Sarah from Minnesota. And at the end of this video, I'm going to be answering questions from you guys as well. So you can also put in questions you might have. Laureen says she drinks apple cider vinegar every morning, 16 ounces. I love that. And that's awesome. Terry says ACV rules. I'm with you on that. Drinking some apple cider vinegar in the morning. That's a great action step right there. So let's go into number 2. So I talked about going to bed early the night before. Number 2 is starting your day with gratitude. And I think all of us have been there before, where our alarm goes off, or we just wake up and we're not happy to be waking up. We want to continue to sleep. I know I've been there before. We want to continue to get good rest. And we just don't feel like we slept well or slept enough, or there's some sort of stressor that's on us that we just don't feel like we're in a good mood. We're irritable. And so taking control of your mind, taking captivity, and starting your day with gratitude is the most important thing you can do once you start your day. Gratitude will help calm your adrenal production of cortisol and adrenaline. And all of us have higher cortisol and adrenaline in the morning. That's important. That's what actually gives us energy. It gives us life in the morning. However, if we overshoot, it's going to set us up for a big drop later in the day. So it's very important to start focusing on gratitude. Take some deep breaths and start thanking God for waking up that morning, for the things that he's going to do in you and through you that day. Start really focusing in on some exciting things in your life, right? And sometimes you might need to take time the night before to really think through exciting things in your life. But you want to really make sure that you are focusing as much as possible on gratitude in the morning, because again, you got to win the morning to win the day. So getting your day started off right is super key to having a productive, high energy day. and making sure you're able to accomplish your goals and the things you set out to do. So gratitude is huge for that. So as you start thinking through your day, things you need to do to get ready for the day, you want to really focus on gratitude. And that's also an important reason not to hit the snooze button, because if you're hitting the snooze button, typically that means you're going to be waking up later than you wanted to, and you're going to be more stressed. And that's what you've got to avoid. You don't want to wake up stressed, rushed. You've got to do a million things in the next 30 minutes so you can get out of the house. That's the worst thing. You want to take time to be intentional in the morning and really be focusing on gratitude. So if you have a good gratitude practice you like to do in the morning, then definitely leave that in the comments box. I'd love to hear about it. If I don't get to the comments in today's presentation here, then I will definitely touch back later and respond to all of you guys. So definitely gratitude is super important. I know for myself, I have some different sayings that I'll say over myself that just help calm my mind, help calm my spirit, and help bring me peace. And so that's just super important, is having some sort of plan for that. Okay, number 3. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. So we've had some people talking about using apple cider vinegar. Laureen talked about how she drinks water with basically 16 ounces of water and 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar every morning. I think that's a great principle. In general, you've got to hydrate. So when we're sleeping at night, we are exhaling water vapor. And that water vapor dehydrates us. It's just a normal part of breathing. We use water for every metabolic process. We need it. So important. So if we go 6, 7, 8, 9 hours of sleep, and then we wake up, we haven't hydrated during that period of time, we need to start hydrating. And in general, I love super hydration in the morning. I just find it to be so important for energy production. You will notice when you start drinking a lot of water and you condition your body to drink a lot of water in the morning, you will notice your energy improves dramatically. If you're hungry and having cravings in the morning, if you hydrate well, you'll notice that the hunger and the cravings goes away. It's easier to do intermittent fasting if you're hydrating your body well in the morning. In fact, we know that water and electrolytes, that produces energy significantly better than food in general. So we don't eat for energy. We eat for adaptation and recovery. We eat so we can provide building blocks to build new cells. But for energy, we drink. We drink water. We take in electrolytes. That's really what we need for energy. So doing something like apple cider vinegar and water or lemon water is a really great strategy. I know I'll do like this little lemonade where I've got lemon water and I'll put a little bit of lemon drop stevia in there, and that tastes great. So I like to drink that. I'll just super hydrate my body, and typically I usually drink about 1 gallon of water before I eat any meals. Now, it is 12:08 right now, Eastern time in my time zone, and I have been up since roughly 5:30 this morning. And I have not eaten anything, but I've drank probably about 1 gallon of water. And I'm going to go work out right after this video. I'm going to do a leg workout because I like to work out around the middle of the day, fully fasted. And then when I come home, then I'll consume food. But I actually feel great. I have great mental clarity. My energy is really good. And I haven't eaten since dinner last night. Partly because I'm hydrating well. If I wasn't hydrating well, then my energy probably wouldn't be great, and I probably would have hunger and cravings. But when you hydrate well, along with good lifestyle nutrition practices, then your body's going to be able to produce these ketones, which help your body to subvert cravings and hunger. And they also provide a great effect of reducing inflammation and improving just your overall genetic expression in life. And so hydration just so critical for this. So make sure you're hydrating really, really well. I typically tell people to start if they're not used to it. And that should be one of the first things you do. You wake up, you start focusing your mind on gratitude, then you go to the bathroom. So you go to the bathroom, of course. And then right after that, you go ahead and you start hydrating your body. And so start with 8 to 16 ounces of water. For some of you guys, that alone will be a chore. For others, you're doing that already. So then I would try to bump it up to maybe 24 ounces of water, maybe in the first 30 minutes. And if you're able to get up to like 32 ounces in the first 30 minutes that you wake up, then you've hit the mark. You will notice huge changes if you do that. If you're able to get 32 ounces of water into your system comfortably, like if it's like making you nauseous and vomiting, you're not ready for that yet. It's like a muscle. You've got to Your body has got to get used to you consuming more of this water in the morning. You got to work your way up gradually. If you're not used to drinking water in the morning, you might start with 8 ounces, then you might go up to 12 ounces, then 16, then 20, then 24. So going up like 2 to 4 ounces at a time is a great strategy. And it might take you a few weeks to get up to 32 ounces in the morning. But if you're able to do that, you'll notice big changes in your energy, your mental function. You'll feel really balanced and you'll feel really productive early in your day. So hydration, make sure you're hydrating really, really well. Okay, let's see who else is on before we jump into number 4. Let's see, we've got Laura. She says, huge challenge to get to bed. I know what you are saying. There's so many distractions in our life, right? There's good entertainment, whether it's TVs and TV shows, movies. There's our email that's constantly popping at us with the next email. There's all kinds of urgent things, social media that we can scroll through. It's so hard to get to bed on time. You just have to really make that a practice, and you have to make that a dedication. You got to say, you know what? Everybody in my life, they deserve the best me tomorrow. And so I need to make sure that I am preparing myself so I can be the best version of myself, and have a cutoff time, have a curfew on the different things that you like to do. It's so important. Let's see. Sarah says, can't stay awake past 10:30 p.m. Yeah, so I don't know if you're saying you can't. If not, that's great. I think that's, for some people, they're just naturally like falling asleep at 9 o'clock. For me, sometimes that's the case. Sometimes I'm like feeling a little bit more wired, or I'm wanting to get stuff done. So I've been in both departments before, where it's like I'm so tired, I'm just ready to go to bed early. But then there's other times where it kind of bums me out to go to bed early. I think you guys are with me on that. All right, Dion says, blocking blue light and getting AM sunlight was huge for my sleep. Yeah, I love that, Dion. So basically, he's talking about getting blue light blocking glasses, which you can find on Amazon.com, and I'll post a link. I've got some actually just right back here. Some of you guys saw my Facebook Live a few weeks ago where I had those on. But yeah, definitely blue light, like what's coming from our computers or phones, things like that, is very stimulating. And so right now it's okay, I guess. During the day, it's okay because we're being stimulated by it. Although if you're on the computer all day, having some anti-glare glasses can be really helpful. But in the evenings, when we want to produce more melatonin, more sleep hormone, we need that to reduce. We need it to drop. So that's when it is important to have some sort of blue light blocking glasses. That will help to reduce that stimulation at night. It'll help set you up for a good sleep. And then getting AM sunlight. So getting sun exposure early in the day is huge. Now, it's tougher this time of year because the days are shorter. And oftentimes, like I know here in Georgia, it's a real cloudy day. But if possible, definitely getting out, getting some AM sunlight will help stimulate natural cortisol release. Now, what suppresses cortisol in the morning is hitting the snooze button. Don't do that. Do not set your alarm and then hit the snooze button in the morning, because you're telling yourself it's not okay for me to have a cortisol rise when you should normally have a cortisol rise in the morning. And so then you're going to feel lackadaisical and have issues throughout the day with your mental energy. So that's not what you want to do. Okay, thanks for that, Dion. We have got Jeanette coming in from Ackworth. My neighbor, Jeanette. I am living in Ackworth as well, and my clinic is in Kennesaw, so I'm out here too. So great to have you. We got Lisa from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We've got Debbie from snowy Minnesota. Debbie, you know what? I grew up for a period of time in my life in Pennsylvania in the Poconos, and we'd have all these snow days in school. But you know what? I don't miss that at all. I'm so glad I live in the South and I don't have to deal with the snow. We've got Carol from Marietta. Great to have you on here, Carol. Let's jump into the fourth thing. We talked about go to bed early the night before. Okay, so we hit on that. We talked about starting your day. I'm sorry, here. Trying to use these buttons here. Starting your day with gratitude. We talked about that, number 2. We talked about hydrating. Number 3. And number 4 is move your body. So getting out or doing something to move your body in the morning is important, whether it's exercising your body or it could be like light stretching, or maybe doing breathing exercises. It doesn't mean you need to go to CrossFit and do a workout or go to the gym. You don't have to do that. I don't work out in the mornings anymore. I used to do that all the time. Now I work out around midday. Like I'm going to go work out right after this. So, but one thing I do is I try to stretch, do some breathing exercises, and I do some prayer and meditation. That's one of the big keys for me to start my day. Prayer, meditation, get my mindset right, stretching my body, just doing stretches I found to be huge. And so I've got kind of a little stretch routine, kind of resembles some yoga exercises. And, but you know, it could, I guess it could just be called calisthenics, breathing exercises in the morning to just kind of set my mind and my body up for success. So if you are a morning exerciser, go for it, get a good workout in. If not, then go for a walk or do some breathing, calisthenic exercises, different things like that. And that's a really great thing to do to get your day going. So we know that movement drives the engine of life. We know that we've got to move to live. So get some good movement in. Morning time is a great time for that. Okay. Again, for me, I work out in the middle of the day nowadays. I just find that I just feel better when I do that. When I'm fully fasted, my ketones are higher. Your ketones, typically, if you are on a ketogenic diet, they're going to be lower in the morning because naturally we secrete more cortisol. And so your blood sugar will be a little bit higher, your ketones will be lower, but around middle of the day, if you're not consuming food or if you're doing something like a fat fuel coffee or something along those lines, then you'll notice that in the middle of the day, your ketones will be at the highest. That's when I like to get my workout in. Today, I'm going to do a leg day right after this call. So right after this broadcast. Okay, so move your body, and really you want to move your body throughout the day. I think that's just a great strategy. And then number 5, our favorite, move your bowels. You got to be moving your bowels. If you're not, if waste is sitting in your system, it's going to rot and putrefy. Your colon is most active, has the most active contractions between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. every morning. So getting up, hydrating your body should naturally help stimulate more peristaltic action in your colon and help you flush toxic waste out of your system. So you definitely want to make sure you're doing that, is just making sure that you are hydrating well and doing what you need to do to get things out of your system. There might be like a specific pose. For example, for me, stretching, breathing helps. And then actually, believe it or not, getting on my knees. So like if I'm sitting in a chair like I am right now, it's harder for me to, I don't know why it is. I think it's just the way that the position that it puts my colon and my rectum in, it's hard for me to feel the urge to have a bowel movement. However, if I get on my knees, like I could do that right now, like if I'm praying and I'm on my knees here, it helps kind of relax the colon and the rectum. And it might just be my anatomy, but it helps relax things and it helps me facilitate a good bowel movement. For my wife, she likes to sit. She'll sit on her bed and read a book or on a couch or something like that, and that helps her. So everybody's a little bit different. So you want to find the unique things that help stimulate a good bowel movement. I found that one of the keys here is having something consistent, like a consistent morning routine and consistent strategies to help get your bowels moving is so important. The hydration will help, the breathing exercises. So just taking deep breaths should help naturally stimulate better peristaltic, action and better bowel movements. But you got to be moving your bowels, at least one really good bowel movement in the morning before you get going with other things in your day. All right. So I think that's just so important. Is making sure that you're doing that. So hopefully, guys, this has been really helpful. Now I can answer any questions that you guys have. So let's see. We have got Sandro. He says, he or she, I'm not sure if that's a he or she, he says, I do intermittent fasting most days. Let's see. I do intermittent fasting most of the days. My main meal is at night to get calories. Sometimes I eat late. Is that the reason why sometimes I am tired morning hours? I do have to say I wake up with that alarm every morning. Yes, eating late at night, we talked about that earlier in this broadcast. Eating late at night can really be challenging on your digestive tract, and it's going to restrict your body from getting very good regenerative sleep. So I don't recommend that. If you have a job that has you work late at night, then the best recommendation would be doing like a protein shake with good fat at night. If you need to eat something, I would do a protein shake with good fat because it's pre-digested. So you got the blender has done the digestion, or it's like a protein powder and maybe some coconut milk or something like that. And it's easier on the gut than if you were to eat like a steak and vegetables or something like that, or even like a big chicken salad. It would be easier to do the smoothie than it would be the chicken salad because, again, you still need hydrochloric acid to break down the chicken. You need a lot of digestive enzymes to break down the vegetables. So that would be better to consume in the middle of the day. Like if I've got something going on late at night now, what I try to do is eat more of my solid food meal because I do 2 meals a day. I'll do my solid food meal in the middle of the day and take kind of a longer lunch break, a siesta, or maybe even take like a light nap or just relax in a sense after I consume that meal. And then if I needed to eat later in the day, I would do some sort of a protein fat smoothie kind of thing. I think that's a good strategy to have. Okay. But yes, if you don't do that, it's going to affect your sleep. Samuel says, I tried using GABA to sleep and it's not working. So Samuel's using something called gamma aminobutyric acid to help with sleep. It's not working. He's probably dealing with some anxiety. Number one thing that I would focus on would be magnesium. We have one called Brain Calm Magnesium. It's a fantastic product. And I see that helps so many people that are having trouble sleeping. That's my number one go-to is Brain Calm Magnesium. If we know the magnesium levels are up, okay, by the way, Brain Calm Magnesium is also a great thing to help with bowels, right? So if you're not moving your bowels well, we talked about that, flush with magnesium, that will really help. So I would make sure your magnesium levels are sufficient by taking in a good high quality magnesium supplement, eating a magnesium rich diet. You can find articles on my website about that, trace mineral rich diet. And then from there, if you're still having trouble, okay, we got to look at lifestyle hygiene. So we have a good strategies as far as lifestyle. Other additional things would be like you can do a nighty-night tea with valerian root, passion flower. So that's a company called Traditional Medicinals has some good herbal teas. Some melatonin can help. I know we've got a good one called Sleep Support. And in some cases, yes, GABA and 5-HTP can be really helpful. I've used that with people, but I would recommend, working more so with like a functional health doctor. If you're still struggling after reconditioning your lifestyle, following good sleep hygiene strategies and doing magnesium, if you're doing those things and you're still struggling, then it's time to say, hey, I need a health coach. And, by the way, I do health coaching with people. So you can contact me if you're local in the Atlanta area at my clinic, Exodus Health Center, or long distance as well. And I also have health coaches that work with me as well, Melissa, Danielle, and Michael, who are all excellent. And so, we'd be happy to help if you're doing those things. Okay, let's see. Sarah says, I wake up and excited for my cup of coffee and Jesus. Love it. Devotions from 5:45 a.m. to 7 a.m. Favorite part of my day. That's great. So Sarah's really got it going there. So she's got her cup of coffee and she's got devotions to start her day. Now, I'm a fan of coffee. Coffee has a lot of antioxidants in it. It's actually the most antioxidant-rich food that most people in America are consuming. Of course, you guys are health conscious, so you're consuming vegetables and things like that. However, what we have to remember is coffee is also diuretic. So nothing wrong with doing coffee. Coffee actually can be one of the best things to stimulate bowel movement. So that's a great strategy. But make sure you're even more intentional about hydration because for every ounce of caffeinated beverage that you consume, you're going to lose an extra ounce of water. So your body's going to reduce water content. So important also that you're making sure you're hydrating well. I will oftentimes do a coffee in the morning as well. But I make sure I drink a lot of lemon water or apple cider vinegar, like a lot of you guys have talked about, which is really good for helping open up drainage and detoxification pathways, lemon or lime or apple cider vinegar. So that's really good to do before you do the coffee. So I'd recommend that. Laureen says, thankful for every breath. Absolutely. That's one of the best ways to start your day is just taking time to breathe long and deep and just be grateful and thankful for every single breath. So I love that. Let's see. Sarah says, I use a SAD light during devotions because I live in Minnesota. Great idea. So Sarah, great idea there. So she is using a light that kind of resembles the sun, right, to help stimulate just more, you get more of the biophotons in a sense, the biophoton stimulus that natural sun would would do for us, which will help stimulate cortisol levels and get the right stress hormone release. Okay, Debbie says, I drink lemon water in the AM. Bonnie said, which I love, Debbie. Bonnie says, I drink 2 cups of celery juice every morning. Then a half hour later, I drink a large glass of lemon water. Bonnie, that is a rock star way to get going with your day. You are doing awesome. Celery juice is one of the most electrolyte rich things you can consume. So good for your liver, your kidneys, really good for your kidneys, really good for gallbladder, liver health, rich in sodium, you've got magnesium in there, you've got potassium, you've got a ton of different electrolytes, silica in there as well, really good for skin. So you've got all those electrolytes that are just going to help you drive up energy. I love that. Margaret says lemon water first thing in the morning. So she's in a lemon water camp with me. I do lemon water. Margaret does, Margaret says, yeah, celery juice. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Laureen says going to bump it up and put some pink salt in it as well. So she's going to drink more water and a little bit of pink salt. So if you don't do the celery juice, you put a little Himalayan salt will provide the electrolytes. Okay, we have got Harmony coming in from Montreal. We have got Lori. She says wanting to get a Vibra Wave. Anybody have one? I'm not exactly sure what a Vibra Wave is. I haven't heard of that. Maybe it's a vibration machine or some sort of a blender. That's what would come to my head to start, would be a vibration platform, which is a great thing to do, or maybe it's a blender. So let us know what that is, Lori. Okay. Debbie says, I do a yoga sequence for my bad back and stretches everything, feeling great afterwards. See, that is awesome. That's what you want to do. You got to have that prehabilitation. So I tell people that all the time at my clinic where we do chiropractic care and functional nutrition and functional medicine, is I always tell them, hey, you got to have a prehab routine. You can't just wait until you get injured to start actually working or moving your body and stretching. You got to make sure that you're doing it beforehand, and that will help prevent it to begin with. And then, of course, in your case, with a bad back, those stretches are gonna be huge for you. So I know for me, I'm sitting a lot because I'm working at my desk, so it's huge for me as well. Just making sure I'm getting up, moving my body well. All right. Ashley says, could you please share your stretch routine? That's great. And I should do that. I should do a Facebook Live for you guys at 6 a.m. in the morning with me, and actually show you some of the stretches that I do. So I'll have to do that at some point here. We'll be doing something like that. Let's see. Okay, we have got Debbie says, love your Brain Calm Magnesium for sleeping and anxiety. Awesome, Debbie. I know it is a fantastic product. Really excited about that. Seeing awesome results and testimonials all the time. Let's see. Bonnie says, I wake up a couple times every night and it's always exactly the same time. What could cause this? That's a great question, Bonnie. There's a number of things that could cause it. So infections can cause you to wake up kind of the same time every day. In fact, liver and gallbladder are most active between the hours of 11 to 3. So sometimes when people have some issues going on with the liver, gallbladder, or infections in their gut, that can cause an issue. If you have a blood sugar imbalance, typically you're going to wake up 3 to 4 hours after you fall asleep. And when your cortisol starts to rise because you are your blood sugar is not balanced and your body's sensing that you have hypoglycemia. So I would need to know more information in order to really help, but there could be something going on in your gut. There could also be a blood sugar imbalance. Those would be the top two things that I would think. Okay, so, and then Barrera says, yep, same here, same time every night. And one of the key questions is this, is when you wake up in the middle of the night, are you able to fall back asleep? So for some people, they wake up, they have to go to the bathroom, totally fine, go to the bathroom, but then they can't fall back asleep. So they've got a sense of insomnia afterwards. That's not good. If you wake up, you go to the bathroom, you go back into bed, and you fall asleep within 5 minutes, totally fine. That's a normal part of the sleep cycle. So I think that's perfectly fine. Karen says Hyper Vibe is a great vibration plate. So yeah, it is a vibration plate. And so physical therapy she uses with her patients and for stimulating bone density and muscle tone. So I have vibration platforms as well at my clinic. I just don't know all the brands. But anyways, yes, vibration platforms are awesome. So really, really good for bone density, really good for stimulating different receptors and stimulating our overall nervous system and strengthening up our nervous system activity, as well as actually stimulating different what's called motor units that drive different muscles. So, and you can do different exercises off the vibration platform, and you actually get better muscle adaptation when you do that. So it's really, really cool stuff. So thanks for letting us know there, Karen. I appreciate that. And so Laureen says, breath in saying I am, and exhale peace, or say and exhale the spirit of man and inhale the spirit of God when stressed and in the morning. I love it. So she's sharing some of her strategies, things that she's using. I love that. I think that's so helpful. So hopefully you guys are taking note of that. Just kind of breathing in. Okay, so you're breathing in, and then you're exhaling. So you're breathing in and you're saying I am, and you're exhaling peace. So I am peace, and that's so powerful to be doing. And so you're just basically meditating on this idea that you are peace, and that God lives within you. So I love it. All right, Ashley says, any tips for sleeping while having young kids and a baby who does not sleep solid throughout the night? Yikes. That definitely can be really, really challenging. I know our boys, fortunately, they sleep wonderful throughout the night. And I think it starts with a good diet. Okay. And also, we get them moving and doing all kinds of stuff. So we get them really active throughout the day. So they typically nap well for the most part, and they sleep really well at night. They typically they go to bed roughly 7:30, 7:45. They might play in their bed till 8 o'clock. And typically they're sleeping till roughly 8 a.m. the next morning. So it's usually a good 12 hours that they're out. Now, it took us a while to get them sleep trained, and there is a sleep training course that my wife took, and maybe she can send you a link to that later on in the day when she reads this. So anyways, sleep training is really key. And we're going to have another baby here in May. So at some point we'll be using that, but it can be tough. I mean, that just as a parent with young kids, it's just, that's a struggle. That's a challenge during that season of life. So you try to do the best you can with good bedtimes, good nutrition strategies. Our boys drink the Brain Calm Magnesium. They love that. And I think that's definitely a key part of them having such good sleep on a regular basis. We also do a lot of cod liver oil, which helps reduce inflammation in their body. We do probiotics with them. And so all of those things really help contribute to their bodies being healthy, and a healthy body should be able to sleep effectively at night. So I think that's important. Good. So guys, this has been great. I know I had a lot of questions, a lot of you guys on today, and it's always an honor and a privilege to be able to do a broadcast like this with you guys. And stay tuned, because I'll be on doing regular broadcast here, and hopefully be able to address any health questions that you guys have as well. And if you guys are looking for a health coach, be sure to check out drjockers.com. We have got Michael, who is awesome, great keto coach. He's one of our lead researchers for our website, drjockers.com, Michael Dugan. He's just an awesome functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner. We've got Melissa Knorr, who is a certified health coach. She's fantastic working with people. In particular, she's really good at working with people with young kids, and she's had two sets of twins. So I'll have to have her on for an interview. I'll interview her at some point here. 2 sets of twins. So she can give you a lot of strategies as far as that goes. And also we have Danielle, who is she's got a master's degree in nutrition. So she's our lead nutritionist for drjockers.com. Hey, if you're looking to accomplish different health goals in your life or overcome chronic disorders, then check out our health coaching team. You can even work with myself to help coach you to success in your life, and help you have just the best life ever. And so hopefully you guys got a lot of value out of today's presentation, and I will see you guys soon. Bless you guys. Bye.